Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We love you, Guinness, Guinness, Guinness. Oh, get up. Hey up, everyone. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. Oh, my word. I had to get Adam on today. Seen him all weekend. Been a brilliant weekend. I don't even know where to start with this, mate.
I can't eat. Sorry. Hang on. Wait there.
Oh, man, honestly. What an absolute barnstormer of a weekend. I'm going to try and delve into the logistics of pre-season and the bits and bobs of... Can you hear me now?
Back. Sorry.
I've got Adam on so we can speak a little bit about the game because my head's just all foggy and misty, but what a weekend. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. Now my missus' headphones are not connected to the Mac, so I can actually hear you. That's much better.
That's a lot better. Jennifer, what are you doing? You're making us look bad.
Again, mate.
Not really.
Anything to sabotage us, our relationship.
Oh, mate. What a weekend, mate. Before we even go into the game and that, just the build-up to that game, you know, for weeks and weeks, from months ago, booking it, the sort of negative of, what team of Milan going to play? Is it going to be... Honestly, what a fantastic fucking weekend, Alan. From top to bottom, everything was just perfect. We are some club, mate. Wow. Some club. I don't even know where to go with this.
No. I know. We're both just on a high, aren't we, from the weekend? Like,
unreal, mate.
Some club, like, to be honest, even beforehand, I knew what the weekend would be in terms of just shitloads of Leeds fans descending upon Dublin, new picture, and it did. So the game, I didn't like. We talked about AC Milan, their lineup. I didn't really care beforehand, to be honest.
You know,
I like, and actually the game form. I know I shouldn't say this. We could have lost 2-0. I wouldn't really have even cared at the time because it's so. I know I shouldn't say that, but just the weekend was incredible for me in particular. I'm not a soppy sod, as you know, but down being down here, I don't get around Leeds fans. And just we stood in the Camden after you, Darren Dillo, Rusty Tin Can. I don't actually know his real name. I should know
Eddie.
Eddie. What a top! Jesus, what a man!
Legend.
And just being part of that, and Leeds fans marching on together, like the whole weekend. Like even we said, didn't we? Like we'll give Friday night to our missus, and then we end up meeting up still and talking football and sitting in an Irish bar with someone playing a banjo.
It wasn't planned.
Yeah, no. It just happened.
Yeah, kind of.
Mate. The shirts. This shirt is class. It's a class shirt. Yeah, absolutely.
It's honestly just the best. Probably, I don't want to say it's the best weekend of my life because obviously I did get married and I have had children with fell on a weekend too, but it were right up there. Outside the bits you've got to say the biggest moments of your life. Watching Leeds United in another country, getting on an aeroplane, unreal. And I know like a lot of Leeds fans, you know, people who go week in, week out to Elland Road and it can get lost in them a little bit to a degree. You know, I know people I work with who just go week in, week out and I've done for 30 years and I've got a game this weekend. I can't be arsed with this one or whatever. That it's not lost on me. I love going every week. You know me. It's like my escape from reality. I know you not being able to get there where you live. I know how much it's meant to you going to Dublin and to see you, mate. Honestly, you know we've met a few times now and we speak it almost every day. But to see you turn around and watch you singing March On Together with your arm around other Leeds fans, it was honestly made me weekend. It made my weekend, mate. It was absolutely mint and just the whole vibe. I didn't see any bother. You know, Leeds fans get this rep. You know, dirty Leeds on pitch and hooligans off it. There were no bother. It was honestly just such a good vibe, and there were never there was just nothing. A couple of spilt glasses, as there were a lot of drunks kicking about, but there were no bother. Everywhere was just bang on. The music, the vibe in Dublin anyway. Throw Leeds in mix, and it's just there'd have been nowhere else in the world that I'd rather been met this weekend. Nowhere.
Absolutely, and just feeling part of that Leeds community, and everyone's coming together. And it's like everyone felt that's the power of this club, though, isn't it? The power of football, the power of this club that just brings everyone together because of love for the club. But even the fact, I mean, Milan probably sold 2,000 tickets, maybe splattered throughout.
I'd say so, yeah.
They were seeing it all within us as well, and it was just a really nice atmosphere because it was a friendly. But everyone really cared. They wanted to win, obviously, but it's still the whole thing. And we played pretty well. We played okay, but it wasn't really about. I'd say it's just weekend, because going to games is fine. You get up in the morning, you go to a game, you come home in the evening. That was a whole weekend of Leeds United, and there's a whole weekend of Leeds United for every single Leeds United fan that went, and that's what it's about.
The game felt secondary, didn't it? Basically,
It did,
the game actually. You look forward to the game, but it felt secondary. You reflect on it when you come home, and you're like, the people we met. Not just the YouTubers or content creators we met, which we met a bloody lot of them. Just, people coming up to us, speaking about late night Leeds, people speaking about the channel, people who didn't even know we did anything like this, and they just wanted to speak to us about Leeds. The amount of comments I got travelling there, the fact I was wearing this third shirt. I think I only saw 2 or 3 people in Dublin wearing this. So, the first day, I had people coming up to me and having a look at it's better in person than I thought. And it was just, it was just something else, man. And it's something I hope that they've seen. Everyone knows that the amount of fans we have in Ireland, it's unbelievable support we've got there. This surely is something that could push to be annually or every couple of years. And let's be fair, we'd go back, and so would everybody else, I'm sure.
Do you know what, mate? That as well. If it was last friendly in Stockholm, last friendly in Oslo, last friendly in somewhere in Italy, last friendly. I know place in Italy, by the way. I could not. Yeah, last friendly in Germany, Munich, Milan. Absolutely, it'd be an amazing thing to do. It's great. It's the last game because it's treated more like a proper football match as well, which does make a bit of a difference. But it's even getting So I've got the 1:55 flight from Stansted Airport, which is in Essex, and the amount of Leeds fans. There's probably the third of that flight was Leeds fans from Essex. They're all in their Leeds shirts. It was just rammed everywhere. We came from everywhere. We descended from everywhere. And the amount of fans, I think we're so massive, and we're so passionate. And it was just an awesome, bars just singing Leeds songs before the game, after the game. Like people I've never done a Leeds United thing like this. I've been to lots of games. I went to loads of London games growing up. I've been to lots of Leeds games, but I've never done a Leeds United thing like that. I don't know if you have a Leeds United, I say weekend of it. It's just
never. I'm me. I know I look like a proper lad, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a lad. I have done many all dayers, let alone all weekends. I mean, I haven't. I go to Elland Road, as you know. Sometimes I drive and I come home and I don't drink. And I've been a away day, Middlesbrough back in the last year when it was a bit more of a thing, but it was a late kick-off. So again, it's probably the first time I've been on drink for 2 days since I was about 20 years old as well. I don't do it much. Can't with a young family and stuff. So it all in all, to like, obviously I spoke to you as well. Not being mum and dad and being able to take wife. And if I'm honest, I didn't think, you might have been saying with Jennifer, I didn't think Elizabeth would be as invested in sort of the whole vibe as she was. Like, she likes football because she's got no choice because of me. It's either like it or lump it. All I do is talk about it and want to watch it. But like, I didn't think she'd be as into it as she was. She come away and she was like absolutely blown away by the support, the just general feel of the place. Like you say, no trouble. She was like, oh, she can see it coming a mile away sometimes. And yeah, she was just in awe coming back and seeing smile on her face and sort of thinking, I was expecting, I don't know, to sort of put my foot on it, be pulled from pillar to post and not really spending much time with her and being here, there and everywhere. But it was just a really nice time for us as a couple, beside the football, being in Dublin. And, and the Friday night, obviously we went out, we bumped into each other, the 4 of us, didn't we? And went to the Old Storehouse and live music in there, guy with banjo, just right up our street, Adam. We love his music. We're having a bit of a sing song, as someone said already in there. And again, just turning around and seeing you sing your head off. And oh my word, in your little, what was that shirt you were wearing? Like a little wool shirt or something, like really smart. Like a wool shirt.
A little wool shirt.
Like a wool shirt. Like,
came to about here.
Yeah,
a little
like
hot
a little
pants.
tank top.
What was I wearing? Yeah. No, it isn't a little wool shirt.
Oh, I love it.
But by the way, absolutely, the Jennifer loved it as well. She loved it. She loved meeting you guys. She loved being part of it. I said in the camera, I said, because she's always been an Arsenal fan, but half-hearted about football. And I said, like, you're a Leeds fan now. She went, yeah, I am. She was even watching your blog in the airport. Like, she's never, she don't care about watching your content. No, she knows we get on, we're good mates, but she don't care about watching. She won't watch this even. She might comment now. But actually, it just envelops everything, everyone, a city, everyone goes, he said a good nature. If someone bumped you, they'd apologise. It wasn't like a normal night out. Everyone was there for this Leeds United thing, brought everyone together, and everyone had the right attitude, and it's just incredible.
It really was. And yeah, we did. I assume you haven't watched the vlog now, just get on the vlog after this, mate. It's about 30 minutes long. Loads of bits of content in there. Did about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe, sort of chatting to Jer on the way to Camden after the game. Met Connor for the first time. Or should I say he met me, if you're watching, Connor. Inside joke there. But yeah, we were good, really good. Met Darren and Dill, stayed at Darren's house. Really funny last night. So we got a Chinese after we got back at them. He wanted to try a spice bag because I seen it on viral spice bag. I want to try one, even though it literally is just like a munch box from a Chinese, but it's just spice bag, salt and pepper, chicken and chips in a bag. Yeah, got that. Jer said, I might call around. Like night when he went, I'm getting off, but give me a bell. So he ended up coming round to Darren's. So at like 1 o'clock in the morning, we're down in shed at the bottom of Darren's garden, which is his man cave. He's got a bar and lot with keg and Guinness. We're sat in there, me, our lass, Amy, Lynette, Jer and obviously Darren, and we just sat there at 1 o'clock, and Jer's just telling us about his tactics and our 4-3-3 can go into this and that, and I turned to our last thing, she'll be asleep, and I turned and she just like she's watching Bielsa talk, and she went, honestly, I could listen to him all night. I went, what about football? She went, yeah, he's bloody good in here. I went, well, yeah, there's something in that, I think. But
he's got the accent as well is quality, isn't it? At least that Irish accent, like, it goes a long way, even for us straight guys. Yeah,
no, 100%. But yeah, like I say, we met pretty much everybody. Started off meeting Oscar Marriott and his dad. I can't believe his dad's Jed Stone, is it? Yeah, absolute legend. But anyways, let's get into the game. I want to know your thoughts on the actual match, because obviously afterwards we get to Camden, it's a bit loud and we're all just enjoying the moment. We didn't really dissect the match. Anton Stach is where I want to start, buddy. I just want to jump straight into Anton Stach because he's at the top of my thought process. Future Ballon d'Or player, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I spoke to the people to the left of me. I spoke to the people behind me. I spoke to the sit in the stand. I spoke to people right at me. Everyone. We just spoke about Anton Stach and how it works. Like, just runs the game of football. The German Declan Rice carries the ball, can deliver a pass, can play a crossfield ball, can make a tackle, can run track his man. He's the modern all-round footballer, and he's brilliant. I say you've got to get him off free kicks somehow because he's 6'4", but he's pretty good at them as well, to be fair, corners and free kicks. But yeah, I mean, beyond him, like, I say I don't know if we want to go beyond him. He was so good, and I hope he carries on the season. And 15 million would look like an absolute snip. And as I said, and I said it weeks ago, actually, I think he will prove to be the best player a promoted club has bought for a long, 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 long time.
I agree.
And probably since, now someone can correct me if I'm wrong because they might think players immature, Rafinha. Now, Rafinha is definitely the last best player because, future Ballon d'Or winner, but Barcelona, Brazilian, whatever. But actually, Stach is incredible. Stach was incredible. And he'll only get better, I think, as he goes on. And he's perfectly built for the 4-3-3. Because, by the way, and again, I debate with a lot of people about he has to come in and play middle. No, he's too good a runner. He's too good with the ball. He's too good at progressing the ball. Playing a 4-3-3, playing either side. Because Ampadu, by the way, is exceptional as well. He was really good.
He played really well.
Tanaka, by the way, what did you think about Tanaka yesterday?
I thought he had a good performance. I really did.
I feel like he gets lost a little bit in here. I don't know why, but maybe
he didn't look as good as the other two, but I don't think he played poorly. I think the other two outperformed him, but I don't think he played poorly, in my opinion.
Well, I think there's a thing about Tanaka that when we play a 4-2-3-1, he's oh hello, he's
Let it chat. Look at this. Get out.
Yeah, I'm not both of you. Not again.
I'm joking.
Yeah, no, stay, please. We need viewers. Yeah, cheers, Danny.
Adam's lost now.
Tanaka, 4-2-3-1, first receiver, always on the ball, got a lot of the ball in the championship. He'll get less of it, even though the two wide players drop in and get the ball from centre backs quite a lot, and Ampadu goes forward a little bit more. It's quite interesting. I think he gets less of the ball, and actually, because he's not as mobile, he's not always joining. Because Stach's so good at galloping around the pitch, he's really good at being everywhere. Suddenly he's linking up outside on the left wing, he's covering the fullback, he's joining up with Ampadu, he's over the other side, whatever it may be. But it'd be interesting how that works. But I think between those three, I think we might get 8 or 10 anyway. I think there's a lot of interchange in terms of Longstaff, Tanaka, Gruev. But Gruev has been written off a little bit. He can do a job. He come on.
He's had one of the best pre-seasons out of all the squad for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's looked outstanding in pre-season. He's the one we've all sort of wrote off when you look at the 5. He probably is the weaker of the 5, you'd say. But I mean, none of them have played poorly, but he's probably been one of the most consistent performances. Every minute he's played for Leeds, starting at the Scum game, I thought he's been outstanding. And he's one of the players who Farke trusts. So write him off at your peril. He's got a role to play this season, no matter what anybody thinks. So, but yes, Stach's amazed me a little bit because we've spoke about him, and I actually look at him now and think he could play at 6, he could play at 8, he could probably play at 10. He's just so adaptable in any of them positions, which is great if he's going to tweak formation during the game or, game to game, because I feel like he'll be the constant, as I do Ampadu. So I think it's them 2 + 1, and we'll see how that goes. But the fact that he picked the ball up wide left, and he's cutting. I mean, before that, in first half, left foot, edge of area, it's a crossbar, 6'6", good with both feet. I assume he's good in air. It'd be nice to actually see him in box trying to head rather than delivering the set piece, which is a bit of a mad one. But it goes to show you how talented he is. He's probably currently, when Gruev's not on the pitch, his best set piece taker. Hence why he's taking them. But hopefully that's something we get right. We make those signings or bring that player in who can deliver that ball. Because you imagine him in box. For what I've seen with him with a ball at his feet, which a lot of people didn't speak about, it's more about his height and him getting goals from corners and headers. He's probably going to get you 3, 4, 5 goals just from his feet. Then you throw, you get him in the box, attacking these corners and free kicks. Dare I say he could get 7 or 8 goals from midfield. He looks that, and that's for a low-end Premier League team, apparently.
Yeah. By the way, he's £5 million on FPL, Fantasy Premier League, and I think it's really good value because because defensive midfielders and DMs, everyone you now get 2 bonus points a game for clearances, tackles, 10 defensive actions. I think he'll do that quite a lot. And I think he will get assists from set pieces, and he will go. And also, he will. I think he headed 3 corners away yesterday alone. We just set him, so we do that free zonal mark, and he's at the front, and he just clears up everything because he's massive. Yeah, but it's quite interesting as well. Like people talk about this creative 10 thing, and I like it for the flexibility. But Stach, Bielsa never had a creative. I know he did in the Championship. Bielsa in the Championship had Pablo. Obviously, he had size for a little while, but he never in the Premiership. He never really played that creative 10. We had Click and Rodrigo. Neither of them are particularly out and out creative. More, but what Click does and what Click did and what Stach will do is he'll create triangles all the time. You saw it a lot yesterday. Suddenly, Goodmunson, Nonto and Stach. See, there's a triangle. You create overloads of extra players. Nonto runs off, Goodmunson runs off, and that's how you get in behind. With that extra. So he's operating as a 10. That's what Tanaka and Stach will operate as 10s in terms of joining the play up with the fullback and the wingers. And then you've got everything you need there. But all you also have, by the way, when Tanaka does it one side, Stach yesterday got ahead of the ball quite a lot. Didn't see that. Talk about Rothwell last season. Rothwell never got ahead of the ball. Stach was getting ahead of the ball. He was arriving in the box. He will definitely get goals because you want him arriving in the box because he can head the ball. See that a chance he took yesterday? He spun on it and it was crossbar. Really unlucky, but he's in the box. And that's what you need. So I think a 10 is fine as an idea, but I'm not sure we'll have the luxury of actually ever having the ball. We don't need that creative guy that's going to thread the balls around. That's not how football particularly works anymore. It does, obviously, when you get really, really good ones, don't get me wrong. But actually, you just create overloads by having extra players in different positions. And that's what Stach will give us.
Yeah, 100%, mate. He's going to be a very important player for us this season. I think he'll be the main guy, the go-to guy. It was quite funny. Let me just start that one, Nige. It was quite funny because I know he mentioned it to you in German when you were talking about him, and he mentioned it again in the man cave. I don't want to say shed again. In the man cave at the bottom of Darren's garden. Why did Adam have to say that? Say what, Joe? That we're going to fucking sell him, or clubs are going to come for him in January or why is he already going there? He's doing fantastic. He's been here pre-season. Adam's already tried to sell him for 40 million quid. It was funny. Honestly, it was so funny when he was saying it.
We got in a heated debate whilst both smiling, so it wasn't really heated, obviously. But I said. The thing is with Stach, he'll be worth 40 million by Christmas. He's that good, and I'm not really wanting to get to because people got to hit the ground running. They've got to do it. I don't have any doubts he will do it because just a profile and what he is physically and everything else, ability wise, he will be worth 40 million to us by Christmas. And in next summer, you hope nothing's written in about release clause any which way, go down, stat, whatever. But he will be worth a lot of money. And by the way, player trading is great if you can get peripheral players out on loan and trade them and make 10, 50 million. We aren't a big enough or established Premier League, and it's big enough then, established Premier League club to do that at the moment. We're trying to do it with Josie, for example. Yeah. Hopefully he goes on loan, we make 12 million on him being a loan because he goes up in value. Stach, whilst he's here, everyone, other than top 6 in the Premier League, everyone has a price. Every one of your players has a price. Stach will have a price, so it's not a negative. I'm not saying we have to sell him. I don't want to sell him, but he will have a price. But his price, what I'm really saying is his price next summer won't be 30 million. It'll be 50, 60 million. That's what his price will be. Because he'll be that good. So it's not about selling necessarily. It's about just his value almost. So
do you reckon he'll make the German World Cup squad?
I hope 100%. So. Germany got a lot of decent centre midfielders, but he's not far off. He's played a little bit in, close to it, but I hope so because that's massive, of course. Well, if he does go, then he's worth a lot more money then as well, isn't he? He goes as a blinding World Cup. So
100%. Just a quick, we've got 100 people watching. Thanks so much for tuning in on your late Sunday night. Thank you very much. Please stick a like on this. Only 33 likes. I really appreciate them all, but please keep hitting that like button. It helps out the algorithm and all that jargon. Apparently, I ain't got a clue, but please do it. So Stach can apparently play centre half as well, right? So it's blowing my mind a little bit. So you look at sort of his career so far, and I kind of thought we were getting an Ampadu kind of player. He can play in DM, steady, can play centre half. What a luxury we've got that, you've got a player who can play so far forward and is so good in defence. And I don't want to spend too long on Stach because I've thought about him for the last 24 hours in such high regard, and I can't really get him out of my mind, to be fair. I've looked at Google Images just to stare at his face. I've got that many pictures of him in my phone gallery now from the WhatsApp messages coming through because I just automatically saved to me. Every time I go on my phone, I'll have a look at pictures of my kids I've not seen for 48 hours. Oh, there's Stach. There's Jonathan. Stach. There's Arjo. Stach. Oh, dick pic. No, I'm joking. That's priceless. But no, just genuinely, I am absolutely glowing, and I know the fan base are, and it's exciting to, we've had a bit of stick this window, Adam, for, maybe not attracting the glitz and glam, that big signing. It's been thickening squad out, bringing a couple of good players in. I'm hoping that the people that, and I know we still need them players. I know we need those flair players up top, but I do think, that one for other clubs, us signing Stach will have definitely gone under radar, and they're going to be shocked, some of these teams, when they see him play, because I don't think he'll look out of place against an Arsenal, against the City. In their midfield, he's going to be one of the stars, I think, in the Premier League, and for where we are as a club and for the value, it could be one of the signings of the season. Genuinely.
I think he will. I think he will.
In the Premier League, not just Leeds.
I think he's a massive signing for a promoted club. And I don't know how far we're going to go with this. I don't know where he gets to this season, really, genuinely. Does he end up being a Champions League player next summer, regardless? I don't know. I think he's got potential to. I think he will shock a lot of people. I think he's one of those guys, I know full well, I'll get all my Spurs, Arsenal mates going, who's that guy? Hang on. Why is he so good? Where did he come from? By the way, someone just said how quickly I speak. And it's quite interesting because Matty speaks really quickly too. We sometimes do voice notes to each other and we get 12, 13 words in 2 seconds. We get a lot of words in. What's nice, hello, mate. How far Stach can go, where his ceiling is, I don't know. He's 26, and I think he'll take. It'll take a little while to adapt to the Premier League. There's no doubt about that. The pace of it and the physicality of it. I don't think you have an issue with the physicality, but there's still an adaptation. Even if you used to, because you run someone holding off like that, you got to go in a little bit harder, whatever it may be, because actually a little bit more gets allowed in this country. But once he settles in and adapts, I'm not worried to say. I think he'll still be a 6.5, 7, 8, out of 10 some weeks. I'm not saying he's gonna be a bad player, but once in 6, 8 games, I think he'll just get better and better as the season goes on. I think the problem is really around that, and a little bit like Rodon yesterday, actually, is how good the team around him is. Because if you look at the centre back, like Rodon got a few people moaned about Rodon yesterday. If you're left by Schmidt to defend, if a fullback, if a centre back keeps getting pulled wide, right, or gets one-on-one all the time, they can look rubbish because that's their centre back. They're not used to standing their man up all the time. They're not used to. So it makes sense that he didn't look very good.
That moves us swiftly on to from the best player on the pitch to arguably the worst player in pre-season. To be fair, Superman fan. Schmidt is not ready for the Prem. Lots of attacks came down his side, not really defending. New fullback needed. If Bogle goes down, it will be worrying at right back. I mean, walking to the Camden after the game, Joe said he's been told it's not that bad news. He's only going to be out. He's going to be back in training this week with a view of playing against Everton. Obviously, we've been in Dublin and stuff. I've not watched any other content. I haven't really been on my phone that much other than just bits of recording. So I think that's about right. And I think he's in contention for Everton.
Yeah, Graham said that in an article after the game, actually. He said he should be back. Farke said he should be back in full training this week. But whether he'll be able to start or not, it's nothing altogether. If Byron plays one game, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, obviously Bogle is the man. And Bogle's so much better. Bogle is, by the way, is a really, really good right back. So no matter who you bring in, he's going to be a slight drop off. There's no doubt. Problem with Schmidt at the moment, like you watch him closely. The problem is he chases the ball like he's 5. Like, he just runs after it. Even when his man runs off him, he'll run inside trying to cut an angle off. He does the wrong movements so regularly that he gets caught out all the time. And that's the problem with him. His football IQ is actually pretty low. It's all a bit erratic. And you should be able to trade. He should be better now than he is, because Farke's had him for a year. He's been playing championship football, playing decent standard for a year, around the decent players for a year. If he's still that erratic and still making all those wrong choices,
he hasn't played that much, has he? He hasn't played much.
He's not. And I said I gave him a bit of a leeway last game because how sharp he is. My problem now is his football IQ keeps getting shown up every single game, regardless of how many minutes he's playing. So whether he's training with his guys every day, he must look like a fish out of water sometimes, because I say he just chases the ball. Sometimes you've got to track your man. You can't just be attracted to the ball all the time. You can't just chase after the ball endlessly. No manager's telling you to do that in a press. Just chase after the ball like a child.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't actually stop moving. He's certainly not a lazy player, but like you say, very erratic. Caught out of possession too many times, getting in behind so easily. There's a little bit of context to add to it though for me. Like, I don't think he's good enough. If Bogle isn't fit Monday, I would start Byram. I'm a big Byram fan. One-off game. This is why Byram's handy. He can play on left, he can play on right when needed, when it's an emergency. Unfortunately, we're almost at that point now because we haven't got that backup. But I would play Byram there. But I do think there's a bit of context in terms of whether he goes to Werder Bremen or not on loan. Schmidt, we'll have to see, because obviously it's been a while now since that sort of got announced. We know he's going to leave on loan. He wants minutes. He wants to be part of the Switzerland World Cup squad, which good luck with that one, Schmidt. But I sort of look at it and think, how many players do you know have a potential move on the cards and they're taken out of a match day squad because they're heading in the right space? He's having to stay and play in pre-season games, and pre-season, yeah, fair enough. But like that yesterday, big game stadium, lots of fans there. Bit of pressure in there too when you haven't played much football and you're wanting that move, and probably don't want to get injured as well because you don't want to jeopardise that move. There's a little bit of context in there, so I'm sort of sticking up for him a little bit. Not much game time, that in back of his head. He probably isn't in the right mind state to be playing for Leeds. Any point in that?
No.
You dickhead. There's something in that, mate. Yeah,
do you know what the problem is? Regardless of whether you've been linked elsewhere or not, it doesn't mean you play like a 9-year-old playing football, whatever. He 1 in 2 decisions he makes incorrectly, where he's attracted to the ball, tracking his runner, trying to press someone, trying to follow someone, whatever he's doing, he does it wrong. If you watch him close, if you watch a match back and watch him really closely, he does it wrong 50% of the time, and that's a killer.
Yeah.
You'll just die in the Premier League. I actually hope he doesn't go Werder Bremen because I think that's too high a level for him right now.
Maybe
I think
actually, yeah.
physically and talent-wise, there's a really good player there. Physically, he's relentless.
But maybe higher up though, Adam. Is he even a fullback? We thought he was. But is he? We've seen him better in more advanced roles.
That may be the case. I actually think over time he might, that 4-3-3 role, sort of up and down in the midfield might be a better spot for him. Just use his engine.
I think so.
Because, but the thing is, I say, but you got to be tracking your runners still. But that can just click one day. It can just come to you, like we all do. We all have epiphanies in life. We go, oh, actually, if I just did this, it'd be much easier. It could come to him eventually. It might just hammer home. He might, Farke's obviously hammering it into him, and he's not quite getting through at the moment. It could suddenly get through, and he will make himself a much better footballer if that does. And it is a football IQ issue. But of course, with anything, brains, it can come, or understanding of something can come from doing it more. So maybe, to be fair, the more he plays at a higher level, the better footballer he'll become. I'm worried he'll go the other way, but I'm hopeful he'll go that way.
Yeah, that's fine. Boss now says Schmidt looks like he's playing knowing he isn't at the level. He looks uncomfortable, imposter complex, just needs to play in a different country where the game is slower. Yes,
that's fine, but I agree, and overall, and I think that will help him. Of course, and obviously you've got to take Milan out of that because it's just friendly. He's looking at a place in a friendly where it's not full fledged, it's not full throttle. So I think it's fine as a concept, and I hope it works out because I think there's lots of traits there that make a very good footballer. Just that those finishing touches, those polishing touches can make a massive difference. So you could see team conceding 3 more goals in that game because your fullback's always out of position. Now, he's not always out of position, of course, but he's regularly out of position. I don't think Dan James helps him very much, to be honest.
I know. We were saying that in stadium. I felt like on the left-hand side, Nonto was giving a lot more cover to Gabby Goodmanson. They looked to be working really well. A couple of times, Nonto got back and were making tackles on our corner flag. I didn't feel Dan James were giving Schmidt that, if I'm honest, and bearing in mind how poor Schmidt's been and knowing he ain't a natural right-back. You'd have thought maybe Dan James were going to give him a little bit more just out of that knowledge, but I don't know if he's not quite at it, but he couldn't really get into the game, Dan James, which I'm hoping he can snap out of that fairly quickly because he's one of those players that if he starts off poorly in the Prem, that noise will soon drum up that he's not a Prem player, whereas you really wanted that momentum to continue, but it's maybe been a little bit halted this pre-season, whereas you've had your Piros, your Nontos, your Ramazanis look quite good in pre-season. And you feel like going into Everton, they're probably going to be able to maintain that. Someone like Dan James, we really need him to hit the ground running. But yeah, I did feel like that yesterday, 100%, that right-hand side, there wasn't much cohesion there. There weren't much understanding or, there wasn't a partnership there. You look at goal, there's something in that. It just felt like there was nothing there between the two players. Like, there would, but I'm a little bit good with Dan James, to be fair, that even with the ball, it didn't quite.
He's not sharp, is he?
No.
Dan James, you can always tell he's not sharp, because actually he seems to lose about 10% of his pace as well. He had it come back last season. He's not quite sharp, and he's not just blasting past people. And I think he's in that phase, man, which is a bit of a worry because if Dan James, because he's got to be a difference maker for us at the moment, and he's not doing that. And that then you go, well, where'd you go to? Harrison, Ramazani, Farke clearly doesn't really fancy for whatever reasons. So we are. I mean, you go back to transfer talk, obviously, but we are thin on the ground, those wingers at the moment. We really are. By the way, can I talk about wingers and 4-3-3 and what I need to see from them?
Of course, you can go into it. Dive into it.
Thank you. The problem. So I was a bit jerk about this yesterday as well. One of my karma chats. The problem for me in wingers is 4-3-3. You set up a lot. So what we try and do, we try and get the fullbacks beyond them, but we're not always going to be in a position to do that. You've got to have wingers that got to be able to stand their fullback up and go past them. You've got to. If you keep turning back inside, you never can get anywhere. You've got to go, and by the way, you can go inside and go past them. And by the way, you've got to be able to go both ways. So you can go outside, inside, or you can stand up for a little while sometimes and let the fullback go beyond you. That can't be your only plan. It just can't be. You got and if you haven't got wingers either that can cut in and shoot, you got big problems. And we really haven't got that. We haven't got any of that at the moment, really. No. Ramazani's the only one that really wants to do that. And Farke doesn't fancy it because Ramazani is he's a profile as an out-and-out attacking winger is the best we've got. in terms of what I want to see from that 4-3-3 as well. But there's obviously elements to his game that Farke doesn't like, which is fine. You know, whether he thinks he makes wrong decisions sometimes, or he thinks he wastes attacks as a result, whatever it may be. But as an explosive winger, and my issue at the moment, Harrison doesn't fall into any. He doesn't fall into any of these categories. James is off it. Nonto is probably not quite going to have the end product on the left in particular. I quite like on the right because I almost expect less of him, but that's not a good thing. Attacking, you know, like he's just going to recycle the ball all the time. But if you've got Bogle there, it's a little bit different because Bogle's always going past him, so it's a little bit easier. He can come inside, he can find the pass. But I don't really like Nonto. I used to really love Nonto left. He used to be all round playing left for me, all about him playing left rather. Sorry, but now I think he's better on the right. James is better on the right. Ramazani is not liked, and Harrison you left with. So I mean, it's quite obvious. I know we're talking about it for ages. It's just getting more and more and more obvious. We desperately need that winger. And I might even, profile-wise, I quite like a left foot on the right. I quite like a right foot on the left option. Both. I quite like two. But then obviously I couldn't then answer you. We got what? And with Aronson, we've got 5. Aronson certainly doesn't fall into that at all. Doesn't get anywhere near it. Then you go, okay, well, if you get 2, then 3 have got to go, or 2 have got to go at least. So where does that leave us? That's a problem, doesn't it? Because we all like, me and you really love Ramazani, don't we? We both do.
Huge fans.
I think as an impact sub right now, starting a few games, brilliant. Like I think he could start games, by the way, but there's also I'm just ruling out because Farke doesn't like him. Nonto on the right, fine. James on the right, fine. But I say even that, I'd like a left footer. Then you have to release one of them 2. So it's trying to put it all together. And I don't really know where we end up in that winger mix to how many we need. Because we're looking at the left foot as the right, we're looking at the right foot as the left. I don't think we're probably going to do both. Which one I'd prefer, I don't know. It's a bit messy at the moment. It just doesn't quite. It's not quite making sense.
Well, with James up right, he's pretty good at cutting in on his left anyway. So I think I know Nonto has done well on the left in the Prem before. I preferred him as backup to James on the right hand side, but. You know, they'll alternate. They'll get games and they both give really different types of profiles. I do think we need that left winger, but we do have another left winger in the club currently, who was getting booed quite a lot yesterday. I'd love to know what you think of his performance. I mean, he came in at left back, which are a bit mad, sending a lamb to the slaughter there, which bringing him on, let alone putting him in out of position. But what do you think of the Harrison situation? He got absolutely severed on that. Touchline running up and down, and we're getting booed left, right, and centre. I didn't mind it for the first few boos. It's like when you do something naughty when you're a kid, you get told off, and then you've got to lick your wounds and go again. It got a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm not a fan of his. And I do think you reap what you sow. There's a lot going on, and I don't want him at the club, but I won't lie, it got very uncomfortable, and I felt a little bit bad for him at times. I mean, what did you make of that whole situation?
Well, some cheers started going up, didn't they, when he got the ball as well? Did you hear
there was sections who I think felt the same as me, and then we're trying
to
get him up. But the booze overawed any sort of
I'm not saying that no one started cheering for him. No one went, like Jack Harrison come up and they all cheered. Like they were cheering because there was booze. They were trying to even it out. I mean, I didn't boo him, obviously. I'm not. He's playing for Leeds United. I think, by the way. So he left, same as Vober, same as Aronson, and to come back, same as them. And Vober got a few boos early on. I don't think Aronson necessarily did. And there's a balance, by the way. So when Vober and Aronson come back into the Championship side, we all probably thought we're getting decent Championship players here. This is great. Yeah. So there's an element of that. Harrison, I bet loads of people boo him. If you ask them how good they think he is as a footballer, they say shit. And that's probably really does come into it. If he was if he's a really good footballer, I think they his mum's a bit of a twat, but no offense. But that's what they're saying, not me. Then I don't know his mum.
The fact that people don't rate him as a footballer anyway.
I think that's the bottom line now.
Hot and cold Harrison, there's definitely, like you say, if he were a total baller, maybe the boos wouldn't be as prominent, but it's one of them, and even if he'd left in a really good light, a lot of people still wouldn't want him at the club because, I mean, we've had better wingers in the Championship. So that sort of says, Solomon is a better player than Jack Harrison. Absolutely. And as a fan base now, I'd say 70%, maybe more than that, don't even want Solomon. We want better than that. Be linked with Pajau has elevated, you know, the level of the last couple of transfers needed. Adam, it's raised it to a whole new level, way above what Harrison will ever fucking be, you know, in terms of that level, because he's already above a Solomon. So that's definitely plays a part in it. 100%. You're right.
Well, if you talk about goals and assists, goal outputs from wingers this season, we need a lot. Like I say, we've got to score 45 plus goals. So goals and assists from wingers, it's got to be a lot of those. Like out of the 4 or 5 wingers we got, a lot. Harrison can't really. Harrison's an old-style winger that just wants to push. He is a much better on the left-hand side, pushing it past and crossing it. But that's what we do with our fullbacks now, not necessarily our wingers as much, especially on the left. So you've got a good Munson to do that. That's Harrison coming left back, because people say, oh, that could work. It can't work, by the way, because he can't make it. He can't tackle. And he's never been able to tackle. He tracks very well, but he can't tackle. If you run him, you take him on, like pretty much every time. Coming on line games is quite nice because he's quite secure on the ball. We're not really ever going to be in that pattern of play where we're going to literally get him on the ball all the time and go, oh, we could have a really good footballing left back. Otherwise, why don't we just put Nonto right back as well? Why don't we go whole way? If we're just going to do that, put Stach centre back, put Perot in centre, whatever it is. Move everyone back one. Better footballers. So he doesn't lend himself anywhere. I think for the club as well, if there's an offer come in for him that actually made any sense for PSR, I think they'd get rid of him. Even if it's settled out, even if it leveled out, if you've got a loan, I've covered the wages, I think they'd get rid of him.
You know,
I think he doesn't fit.
I think you look at the Willie Nonto situation and Aronson and Vober and all them. You know, a couple of them went away. Obviously, Willie didn't. He stayed. He was probably the worst one refusing to play. But yeah, like you said, he had talent, especially in the Championship as well. We dropped that. We knew bloody hell if we can just get him on side, if he can stay, and what a player. He never probably fulfilled his potential those 2 years as what we think he's got. He probably should have done better at that level, even though he got better as the 2 seasons went on. And I think we'll see a decent Willie Nonto this season. I sort of think with Nonto, you know, even Aronson, because it was the Championship, you look at even Vober, you look at it and go, yeah, we're sort of, they're going to be all right at this level. With Harrison, I don't even think if he stayed, he'd get the minutes. And what happens then, we saw Aronson early in the season, Georgie goes, he's starting games for Leeds United. He gets that goal. He almost gets that, the winner and puts it wide. Almost a perfect redemption out. But by Wednesday away, 4 or 5 games in, Aronson were done. No more booze. He were nailed on. Harrison, this would rumble on potentially most of the season because he isn't going to get many minutes. He isn't going to get many opportunities or big moments to start that redemption arc. So he might just be playing 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And if it's a negative space, we lower down the table and he isn't having these moments to impact and win games. But this potentially could be 30 games into the season. He's still getting booed every touch, that last 5 minutes of a game, because he hasn't had the minutes to prove himself. So I do think looking at it, I mean, the comment went in there earlier about him clapping the fans and going out. Watching his reaction, I think he's staying for the simple fact that he separated himself from the group at the full time and went and applauded all 4 sides of the stadium, well, 3.5 sides of the stadium, individually, knowing he's going to get stick. He was the only player really going over and making a point to have pictures with the kids, and he was making eye contact with the kids when they were shouting him. Even when he was warming up, there were certain people saying, Jack, can he go over and have a photo with them? I don't know if he does that, if he's just, you know, Jack Harrison and never left club and it's all, he's probably just doing his stuff, probably don't even see, but he was sort of noticing any positive from anybody and he was gravitating towards it and he was letting them know he were happy. And I kind of think if he were going, he wouldn't have acknowledged the fans in the way he did. He'd have just thought, fuck you, I'm off. And he'd have just removed it. He made a point of doing it. And I think you only do that when you try to build a bridge, and you only build a bridge if there's a bridge, if you need it to be built. And him staying at Leeds United is the only reason he would ever need to build a bridge with Leeds fans. Because if he moved on tomorrow, he won't give a fuck. He's been at Everton 2 years, hasn't really give a shit. But I've got a feeling just by his reaction, he may stay, you know, or he may have a feeling currently that I'm probably going to end up staying here for the season.
Do you know what? So guy next to me was actually an Aston Villa fan, and his dad, his brother, Leeds fans. He's come along. He's all from Dublin. And he said, why are they booing Harrison? I said, his mum said something about the club once. And he's like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, exactly. But it's there's obviously a little bit of context surrounding that. But I think as well, by the way, I think when Nonto saga ended, Farke said he was staying. When Aronson come back, Farke said he's back. When Vober come back, I think Farke said he's back. I think he made not statements, but he'd mentioned in a press conference or whatever it may have been. I don't think, has he done that with Harrison? Not as far as I'm aware. I don't think even Farke wants to. Opinion.
He's played him a lot, though. He's played him a lot.
He has in pre-season, absolutely. He has. but
Robbo.
I don't
Classic
think
Robbo.
I don't.
Classic Robbo.
I don't think he's announced at any stage that I mean, Farke's not announced at any stage he's definitely staying. I think maybe that. I think that's a decent indicator that I think he might do eventually when there's no other option, and actually that's where he ends up. But Farke's not said it yet. So for me right now, I mean, because ultimately, if there's talk of him going, if he went around and applauded everyone by himself, you go, oh, look, he's leaving because he's gone around and done that by himself. So you take it from both sides, really. I just think I say for me, ultimately, there's no place really. He can be a squad option and get 400 minutes over a season or whatever. But in general terms, he's not really a fixture in the squad and an option.
I think it's like Schmidt, innit? I think it's like Schmidt because we're short in those areas. They need that body. They need that body. Setting up in training matches. They need that body. He wants 2 players in every position. Currently, 4 wingers. I know we've got kids who can fill in chambers. You've got Schmidt, who potentially maybe more of a winger than a fullback. Who knows? But right now, 3 wingers, not enough fullbacks. So you've got Schmidt and Harrison, who are probably surplus to requirements, but currently have to be in and around the squad for that reason. They've got to play them just in case we don't get the targets.
Yeah,
you can't. Like even Bamford, he's playing for under 21s, or we had Joseph training on his own. You've got to keep him going to a degree. But it's a difficult one. Like Bamford, he's made it aware that he don't want Bamford to be part of the plans. But you've got to keep him going just in case. But then at what point do you take him away from the first team? Because like I say, currently, Schmidt and Harrison, maybe he looks at them individuals and go, they're not bad eggs. We may think Harrison, but maybe they're not bad eggs and they can be still in the group. Because usually, like I say, you don't integrate people in the group or keep them in if the heads are turned, they're moving out. Because it can fester in dressing room, can't it? If they're going, which we probably know both of them are going to go. But I think just due to numbers or potentially down to their personalities, just maybe he looks at them and goes, they'll work hard, they'll play while they're here and they'll move on. But I do think they'll both go. But just currently, it just is what it is. It's a bit of a shitty situation, I think, for everybody because they've got to front up in front of the fans just in case. They've got to keep them fit just in case. And we hope these targets do get found. I mean, my biggest worry currently, I don't know about yours, is fullback. Like Harrison, he's 4th option. But like I say, I'd be happy with Ramazani starting. There's no longevity to that in terms of the full season. Injuries would hamper us. But I think fullback cover, if you told me now, a 9 or a winger or a fullback to be signed tomorrow, please give me a fullback. Please give me a fullback. And it's only a backup we need. But that backup for me right now is more important than a £40 million striker because I'm fucking shitting myself about that right back position.
Well, the problem is for me as well, and that is it's about profiles. If Bogle and Goodmunson are going to be really important to the way you play football because of the profile player they are, the speed they've got, the way to get up and down the pitch, the way to read the game, everything else can get across. They can defend and attack. Byram doesn't cover any of that profile wise.
No.
So if you want Byram to your 5th choice, you have to buy a left-footed left back. You have to buy a right-footed right back. You have to, so you need 2 more players. So you got to either spend money or like we were saying on Late Night the other week. I think we need 2 fullbacks. We need 2 fullbacks.
Rather than a Byram who can do
both.
A left and a right, both.
I think it would be negligent of the club to not get 2 fullbacks.
Yeah.
That's why I think they'll know that.
I agree.
And I don't think they're necessarily really difficult deals to do either because they're both going to be backups. So you can loan players, you can look at the right markets, you can look at the right levels, you can get the right values. They haven't got to be world beaters, but they've got to be profile-wise backups. They've got better than Schmidt. They've got to be better players than Schmidt and a better profile than Byram. That's what you're looking for. So if you can do that, because I said I'm not looking for Bogle minus 10%, whatever ideal. I'm looking for someone better than Schmidt. That's what we're looking for right now. It doesn't have to be perfection because they are backing players. They are backup players. We need not quite world class. We need really good Premier League class winger and a forward. The fullback should be easier. And I'm surprised we haven't done anything in the last week or so, actually. And I'm surprised we've heard very little to next nothing about it.
That usually means something's happening, though.
The thing is, like, it certainly means. I mean, Graham Smith, I think, in his article, literally, I think he replied to someone on Twitter, said, "I'd love more to be going on." I think he's getting fed up with himself. He's gone on holiday for 2 weeks now, I think. But We're always putting feelers out. We're always talking to people. We're always talking to players. You know, and the players we're looking at in general does take a long time. This moving silence thing's lovely when shit happens.
Yeah.
I think for the fullbacks, it's a little bit simpler than that. We shouldn't have to do a massive sales pitch. Like the level player we need is a ball now. You know, something like that. The right it can be 30 years old. I don't care. Like, it just needs the right profile. The ball now came from nowhere. Yeah, fine. But I bet we didn't do it at as big a pitch for him. We probably didn't need to. That's what I imagine. Level player years, because actually you're offering them an opportunity. You're offering everyone an opportunity, but someone like him, you're offering an opportunity to level player years. And that's what we're looking at. So I think I say we need 2 fullbacks. I'd love a 8-10 hybrid, not a 10, 8-10 hybrid. Someone can play that 8, but we can play 10 if we need to. I'd love a left winger or a right winger. I'd love, and then a forward. And the winger and the forward got to be well. I keep saying world class. I haven't got to be world class. They've got to be very, very good. World class, great. But yeah, so we need to do loads still. But as everyone said, by the way, I don't think there's any need to panic. Loads of this domino thing. It all starts happening the last couple of weeks of the window, and I think that's when it will happen as well for us. I think we're waiting on a few players. There's no doubt about that. We don't want to lower our standards yet. You know, it's a bit like holding a nerve right now in terms of the wingers and forward. So we're just waiting on other dominoes to fall, other players to come into other clubs. Then your Muniz, whoever it may be, might become available for the right value for us. So that's what we're looking at.
Do you expect something to happen this week?
No.
Not that they'll be in contention for Everton.
I don't in the winger or the forward. I don't. Because I think if it happens this week, it's because we've panicked. I think if it's Muniz, for example, I think Fulham can sit tight until they get a player. So they've got to get a player in to sell Muniz. Right now, they need strikers to start the Premier League with. If if Jimenez gets injured the day before, Muniz is starting for Fulham next Saturday. So I think it is Muniz. If it's a Premier League player, I don't think anything happens this week. Certainly not. So I don't expect anything to happen. I think we might get a fullback, might get a backup fullback, but not a forward or winger. I don't think. I think that will go into the last couple of weeks of the window now.
Yeah, I hope so.
Which is fine.
Getting a couple of starred comments, mate, because I've been racking up. Try to keep up with comments tonight. It's a toughie, but thank you so much for everyone watching. 76 likes, 120 in the building. Can we get it to 100, please? I'd love that. Martin Nolan, we met him last night. Yes. Top guy. Amazing meeting you both last night in the Camden. I was a guy. We know who you were, but don't worry. I was a guy that said I fall asleep listening to your late night streams. Anytime there is no content, I keep going back I assume that's going back again to rewatch. Yeah, he actually told me he watches the Full Time to Talk stuff as well, and he's been really touched by a lot of my mental health streams. So that were really nice, really touching, really, really nice bloke, mate. But lovely to meet you. We couldn't shut you up at one point. I thought I'm going to have to take you home. In fact, we're going to be bringing you back to Leeds talking to me on plane. But what a guy, absolute legend, mate. And I hope you're still watching, mate. And yeah, thanks so much.
It was nice meeting people. And Matty goes, "Oh, people recognise you." What happened was people go up to Matty and they recognise him. And he goes, "Oh, look, it's Adam from Late Night Leeds." And they go, "Oh, yeah." And then they come up to me and chat to me for a while. They go, "Oh."
Yeah, I go, "Look, it's Adam from, Late Night Leeds." And they go, "Adam, who's that Adam on this? Are you fat Adam, not usually sitting in the dark?" "Oh, no, it's not Priestley." I'm joking. Yeah, no, but it was absolutely class. The amount of people who came over, I actually couldn't believe it. I was telling you one night on the way, I literally parked up in Liverpool airport car park. Realised it was 90 quid for 2 days, nearly died. And then by the time, even before I'd even seen it, the first person I saw was from Stoke. I can't remember his name. It's Ziggy. I might have heard of that. Hopefully you're watching now. And with his family, I think it might have been his son and daughter, grandkids and himself at the back. He had a Leeds United polo shirt, which I didn't see till after. He clocks me and goes, "Oh, wow, third kit. Let me have a look." Goes into detail. I'll be right. Go, "Oh, it's better than I thought." Looks up. "Oh, my God, it's Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds." And he was flying, I think, to Tenerife, not even going to Dublin, and going in Liverpool, and he was from Stoke. And the first person I saw recognised me, and it just set the tone for the weekend, and it blew me away. He wanted his photo took with me. I took a photo of him and put him in the vlog as well. It was just unbelievable, mate. The friendships we've made, that just getting noticed by people, it's really strange. When someone clocks you, and then you're like, "Me," and then they come over, it's just great. Our last one a bit taken back by it as well, because obviously, she doesn't watch every stream. She sort of knows I'm enjoying doing this, but probably doesn't sort of realise how many people love, enjoy, and some people rely on this sort of content. Like I say, speaking to Martin Nolan, he massively relies on this. He needs someone to bore him to death to send him asleep, so he always tunes into my channel. But no, all jokes aside, it's amazing. I'm really, really touched by it. I don't know what to say.
I think, and not because I do my 0.0001% of it. I think Leeds United content is really varied. Leeds YouTube podcast and all that. It's really, really varied. It's really good. Lots of opinions. I think there's so much stuff to get in. Like that's where it all started for me. When I started, I started doing podcast. All stats out on where I used to listen to. I used to really enjoy that. Still going now. And then I started listening to Connor, and then I found Joe, and then Matty come on Joe's a couple of times. I started watching Matty, and I commented, and then come on your show, and now we're here. But like honestly, like for me as a Leeds fan, I'm down here by myself. Like actually, the community that's formed and feeling part of something, just coming on the show, has been massive for me. It's changed. It's made me love Leeds. I couldn't love Leeds United much more, probably 1%, but it has added 1%. And the whole weekend hammered that home even more so. Like I'm part of a cricket club, right? So you go to a cricket club, you can leave your phone on the side, leave your wallet on the side, and it'll be there when you come back, a bar full of 50 guys. You can't go out in the public and do that, right? But actually in the bar on Saturday night, it felt a little bit like that. If someone bumped someone, they said sorry. It all, they apologized. It all felt like we were there for a second. The love of Leeds brought everyone together, and it was well, nature doesn't really quite do it justice. Like I think the whole thing, and let's say it stems, and actually now I feel like I get that from this, and I feel that's massive coming this. I'm coming up to a game in October as well with you guys, and I feel like what we got from this, Priestley, great guy, Sean, love you, and I think actually what I've got now, what I've joined, and what it felt like on the weekend is I know I don't say anything sloppy, I don't say anything meaningful in my life, I don't. So actually, this is massive for me. I've loved this weekend.
Jennifer's gonna bollock you when you get a finger, as if you say so many more nice things to Matty than you do to me, and I'm your wife.
Yes, you're not wrong.
That's right, though. Michael got his way, Sean, tonight. So obviously we didn't do late night Leeds on Friday. This isn't a late night Leeds. I came on here last minute. I said about 9:30 I'm going to come on. I put the link in our group chat. I haven't heard back from Sean. Maybe his message, I don't know. But yeah, Adam wanted to jump on and say something. But the link is there if Sean wanted to decide to jump in. But we were back on Friday for late night Leeds, obviously. So yeah, because I love that comment there. Righteous one. If I see you in the street, I'll come running up, just shouting like a madman. Absolutely love that.
Who was from Leeds? That who's the guy? The academic
Leeds that. Dara.
I'm terrible.
He is one of the nicest blokes I have ever met in my life. Like genuinely, what our lass shut up about him. I'm sure he wants to fly over. He's married.
He's social. So like socially, he is on another level. The way he come up, so he just come up, he'll chat to you, and actually he'll Mrs. stand there. We start talking about football. He'll tell me to shut up talking about football. He'll involve her. He'll ask her. She was asking her what job she does and stuff. Like honestly, socially, you very rarely meet human beings like him, and so inclusive, and it's just such a lovely guy. Because none of it's fake either. Because he's just the way he is. He just wants to include people. And it's just like, I've chatted to him 2-3 times that night or Saturday night yesterday. What a guy. Lovely guy.
Yeah, class. He did a stream earlier. I dropped into chat on there. I know Danny we didn't chat to, and he mentioned as well that it was lovely meeting Elizabeth, and I think he shouted. He had a long list of everyone he went through, everyone he sort of met, and you were definitely on the list. And just a really nice. You know what he was a really nice guy to even write a list, so he made sure he didn't miss anybody out. We actually.
I was not. It was like I was not.
Go back and watch it. No. You'll message me in about half an hour going, I won't even.
I don't like that guy.
But no, just genuinely like it was absolutely class. It was absolutely class. Let me get into these.
By the way, I should mention as well. So like the WhatsApp group's good fun as well. Lots of good guys in there. The members group that you allow me in. That's. I mean, even that Leeds community thing you just pop on there. You got a Leeds fort. You just pop it in there, and then all the conversation flows from there. Been brilliant as well.
Yeah, it's been class, mate. It really has. Dave 76 here. That riot we did at the end of the video brought a tear to my eye. Can see how much of a good guy you are and how grateful you are for everything. Well, very well deserved. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm just a plonker, really, mate. I can't believe anyone gives me time of day. To be honest, I'm still 10 months in. I still don't understand it, but yeah, brilliant. He's in. Eddie's in. Rusty Tin Can. What?
Oh no! Keep yourself on.
Anybody who's watched the vlog, the big bald guy, which isn't Joe. Who's just going nuts in every opportunity. That is Rusty Tin Can. Anybody who's seen Rusty Tin Can ain't sure quite who he is. That's what he's Eddie. What a guy. You made my day yesterday, mate. And what's his channel? It's called Leeds That. Obviously, I know you spoke to Dara a little bit, but yeah, Leeds That. They're really big on Spotify. The one who just started on YouTube, I think in December, Dara was saying. But yeah, it was brilliant. Mine says, I was trying to say I keep watching your stream where you play the songs you wrote. Yeah, even knows my son's names, like coming over and asking how Jonah and Theo are, and what a guy. What an absolute guy.
Didn't recognise me, but whatever.
I always remember all you guys and ladies that do Leeds content. Keep up the amazing and awesome. Thanks so much. It was great meeting you yesterday, Adam. There you go. Eddie appreciates you.
Oh, is that Eddie? No, it's great meeting Eddie.
Class. Guy. What a guy. What a guy. I actually had to at 9 o'clock. I turned to Eddie and went, what time are you flying home, Eddie? And he went, 11. My flight's at 11. And I went, get your pint, put it on the bar, and went, in the greatest respect, just piss off, mate. You're going to miss your flight. He's like, no, I'll be all right. I don't think Eddie bought a pint of Guinness without a straight, neat whiskey at the same time. And honestly, he had like an hour and 50 minutes till his flight left. And I was like, he was still in the Camden. I was like, get off the drink. Go. He didn't get back from Mallorca till Friday. Back from Mallorca, straight on a plane again to Dublin. What a guy. What an absolute hero you are, mate. You made me laugh so many times yesterday. It really was good. But yeah, thanks for that, mate. Who will the starting 11 yesterday be the 11 for Everton? A quick fire question to you, that mate.
No. I think the Metro will start.
I was surprised he didn't start yesterday. Very surprised.
I think the midfield will be the same. I think the defence will be. Oh God, Schmidt. I don't know. I think the Metro will start. I think he probably wants to start Perot, but it's sort of safer option the Metro. I think because again, the Metro will get a lot more. He does a lot more all round in the game. He'll do a lot more defensively. Like he hasn't got to have the Perot's got to have the ball to do something. The Metro hasn't, and I think actually we're finding our feet. We don't know quite what level we're going to be at compared to the opposition, even Everton. So I think the Metro is a safer option and still a very good footballer.
Is there a bit of credence into it looking like Darlow's going to actually start in goal?
No.
Do you not think? I just think they're coming out second half and Perry not maybe being quite fit. I could see Darlow starting.
I just think it's
still
one of those,
a week in.
Farke likes his boxes. Perry was always in the 45 minutes. First game back, first competitive football for a little while. 45 minutes done. Don't risk anything else. 45 minutes. Goalkeeper, match sharp, whatever. 45 minutes is fine. Let him go. Before the game, I don't read into any of this. Before the game, only really Perry warmed up as a goalkeeper, and then Darlow warmed up at half time. So it wasn't like they're even warming up as a unit. It was quite so. So the goalkeepers coach and so if Darlow was going to start this game, I think Darlow would have been there in the warm up before the game to warm up with the goalkeeper coach. I think so. They'll get so the goalkeeper coach and Perry were getting into their rhythm as a warm up. I think for starting games of football, that's what it felt like to me.
If Darlow was to start though, I think he's in pretty good form.
As
a backup keeper,
yeah,
I have more faith in him than I've had. Well, I know he'd been a backup keeper last season, the season before, but right now, you know, we've seen him as a number one. We've seen him play more minutes. He's probably the most confidence I've been in as keepers in a long time. Because not only Perry, obviously, we're really excited to see what he can do. The one moment he caught the ball and threw it long, we were like, wow, like he scored a goal. It was unbelievable. But Darlow looks really good covered as number 2 now. So we've gone from it being an absolute nightmare position for us for however long I can remember now to actually feeling like we're in a really good spot with goalkeepers. And don't get me wrong, we won't want Darlow long term, but it feels like a decent little space that now.
Darlow number 2 is really solid. Like
I think so.
I watch Perry and I think he might have the odd, not Melier howler in him. I think he's going to have the odd moment in him because he did it. He had the ball at his feet. I think he'll have a little bit of overconfidence at the time. I think it will take again probably 3, 4, 5, 6 games to find his feet in the Premier League because it is new. Someone elbow in the ribs or whatever it may be. But don't get me wrong. I think there'll be no howler in there. But I think it might be an odd moment where people go, ooh. But in general, he's I mean, Perry's just going to be a very, very good goalkeeper for us, and Darlow's a very good backup. So no worry about that.
Yeah, no, it looks class, mate. It looks class. I actually think it's been probably a bit criminal that he's been a backup Championship keeper. I think he probably is, whether he's a Prem keeper or not. I think he's a Prem backup keeper. I feel like being Championship backup for what? What are 2 years? Our backup? 2 years. Probably a little bit harsh on what we've seen now. You know. He had a couple of cup games, a couple of dodgy-ish games, I suppose. But when you compare him to the dodgy moments Melly had, he probably never looked that dodgy, actually. But I think as a Prem backup, it's really strong. Obviously, pre-season, no losses. I don't know if you agree with me on this. I've been, I do bridging the gap with Wayne from Only Fools and SAFC, the Sunderland channel, and I've been quite big on the fact that they hadn't won. I think they won yesterday, didn't they beat Augsburg 1-0. But I'm quite big on pre-season meaning something, not just for fitness. Do you think that counts for something going into Everton, the fact we haven't lost? Do you think the lads will go away from that game thinking a 1-1 draw is better than a 1-0 loss? Because in my book it is, even though it won't really change much. What do you think?
Anytime I've seen a poor Leeds United season, they've had a terrible pre-season. That doesn't necessarily mean a really good pre-season is going to mean a good season, but I've never seen them have a bad pre-season and have a good season ever. We've had like Peter Reeder say, go back all those years ago, the relegated season. We lost every game, got hammered in pre-season every game. So I think winning is a habit. Players get used to it. It's like unwritten, isn't it? Like you enjoy sport more if you're winning it as well. And you'll enjoy the whole gelling process is so much easier if you're winning games of football together. I think it's really important. And I think it's really important this summer. I think we play some good sides and all the new players coming in. I think they're all finding their feet. They find their feet as a team. They find their own feet in terms of positionally, tactically, everything else that goes back. Hello with the management, the fans, living in a new area, all that sort of thing. So winning games of football can only help. So people say it doesn't matter at all. I think are completely wrong. I think if you just discount it completely, I think you are completely wrong. I think it's important. Yeah. Now, what importance you put on it? I wouldn't put massive importance on it, but at the same time, I say I've never seen us have a good season where we've lost every game in pre-season, which has happened.
It's like like the non-negotiables and the little 1%ers. So you'll do something in training, it might feel like something so basic, and you think, why am I doing it? But you do it day in, day out because it's that 1%er. Winning a game, not losing over 5 games in pre-season. That might only be a couple of % of the actual machine of what they want to get out of pre-season, the fitness, the cohesion, the building that sort of connection through new players coming in, and your fullback getting that connection with his winger. That's probably more important than the result, but there'll still be a percentile in that what they want to win the game, and there'll be a percentile of importance to the result. And when we talk about non-negotiables or bits you do and percentages building up to create the ultimate sort of beast and the general look you've got going into the season, it still means something. And lads walking off the pitch, going to Ireland in front of 50,000 fans, they will not have wanted to lose yesterday. A good performance and a 1-0 loss, they'd have walked off pissed off. So for me, any fan that sort of throw that pre-season, they obviously didn't spend $1,000 going to Dublin for 2 days. You get what I mean? Like, as a fan, I'd have been fuming to win a player ever think it means nothing. And I know a couple of games were behind closed doors, fans couldn't go and stuff. But I do think a game of football, when people are going to watch it and tuning on telly around the world or paying the hard-earned money to go watch it, I think it should always treat you with respect. And I think players do. I think fans, when the team's losing, try to find any straw clutch and go, it's not that important, which a lot of Sunderland fans have been doing. But for me, if you're losing games in pre-season, it shows the bits you're working on in training, the bits you want to be working, aren't working right now. They may be working in 6 weeks' time, but you want it to be working as close to perfect as it can now for the opening game, because there's only 38 cracks at whip, mate. And when you're going to be scraping around trying to get to that 40-point mark, you can't afford to start slow. So the fact we're unbeaten, momentum has started. And now, for me, Everton's game 6 on that run. How long can we make this unbeaten run go for? Because a game of football is a game of football. It starts on Monday, fair enough. But we've just gone 5 unbeaten as a squad. Let's make it 6. Let's make it 7. And see how long you can go on them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. By the way, the whole fans going thing, absolutely spot on, of course. But Farke will have that exact same attitude. Even the behind closed doors in Germany, if people weren't switched on to the right attitude, he'd have been fuming. It's the same as Farke. By the way, Farke will just miss it. Oh, the results are okay or whatever. He wants to see what he's working on. The players need to believe in it fully, so he wants to see results as well. It's really important that all comes together. I think like Schmidt. This is your chance. Go and play right back. These are your chances. Your chances isn't going to get 3 games in Premier League. Your chances those 3 games in pre-season. Go and prove your point. And he hasn't. And that's what we're talking about. So the opportunity is there. The opportunity's been there. And I think so. These are the games. These are the games in front of you. These are the ones you can try, and these are the ones you can make an impression in. Go and do it. And that's the bottom line. And I think so, yeah. And winning it underlines all of that. And I think it's important for the players, important for, and I think it's important for the mindset of the fans. Well, regardless, even those fans say it doesn't matter. I think it does matter, and I think it probably matters to you as well. That fan that doesn't thinks it doesn't matter because it just does matter.
Look, the expectations as a fan base, you know, if we'd have lost all 5 games, it'd be rock bottom. You'd be expecting us to, we'd be talking, oh my God, we're going to lose against Everton. And the expectations are higher now. You know, we can go beat Everton. Yeah, we know the squad isn't finished, but we've seen enough from the squad to go get a result at home against Everton. Yeah, the next couple of fixtures, Arsenal and Newcastle, is a different story. We'll have to see. But right now, I do think as a fan base, we're in quite a good spot. You know, how can you not be after that weekend, after the decent pre-season? Yeah,
we're about to see, by the way, a season, especially the first few games, because none of us quite know what we're going to get here. And I think in the first few games, we'll see the ups and downs. We will see the extremes of everything here. You know, if we lose against Everton, there's every chance we might lose against Arsenal and lose against Newcastle. You go into the international break, no points, and everyone's shit themselves the whole time. You know, and so the opportunity is obviously buy some players. At the end of it makes a difference. Farke out. There'll be loads of that if we don't get if we get 1 point for the 3 games. Farke out. Loads of stuff. So a lot of it, all this comes from fear and the unknown, because it's a lot of unknown. All the players we're buying in, we can go, oh, Stach's gonna be this, or Perry's gonna be this. Perry will be a well beat one game, and he'll be shit the next because he might make a slight error. You know, like in our group, Gumundson's shit because he did. Oh, I didn't like his weight of pass wasn't quite right there. No, like he's not shit. He's just in a friendly. It's fine. Just give him a chance. Just watch the basics of what he does, and it all makes a lot of sense. And everything else will get there. Just he's not quite match sharp. So we'll get an awful lot of that because all of us are looking on, and there's more unknowns in being a just promoted club than being last season, setting back in the Championship and knowing Rodon is absolutely brilliant in Championship, knowing Strauch's brilliant in Championship, knowing Farke's a very good Championship manager, knowing Ramazan is coming in, like, you know, knowing Perot, who's been top scorer for 2 seasons. We've literally pretty much everything is an unknown for us right now, like everything, and that brings a lot of fear. And when anything bad that happened is exemplified, anything good that happens is exemplified. Stach has 2 good games, he's world class, best player since, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Who'll say that?
You know, but I thought Sunderland did lose 3-0 again, didn't they? They lost. I thought they lost.
They played 2 games on the same day. The won 1-0 and 3 lost 3-0, but I think it must have been a weak side, a bit like when we did it the other week. We lost 3-0 at Hartlepool, didn't we, while we were playing as well? Yeah, but PSF, if we lost our first 3 games, I'd be calling for Farke out. I don't think you'd be the only one, mate. There'll be a fair few doing that.
There'll be loads.
There'll be loads. I mean, the pressure on Everton, it will be massive. I mean, at minute, I'm still riding the high of getting promoted and winning the league, and then obviously that this weekend. I don't want to think of anything negative, but you look at Everton and not everyone, but there's a general feel amongst the fan base chatting to people this weekend that we will beat Everton. It's a game we should win. We will win. Everyone's confident of that. If that doesn't quite happen, then you're going into 2 very difficult fixtures. But I just don't think we're going to fall off a cliff here. I think we're building something really well. I know we're missing that little piece up top. I get that, where the goals coming from. People have asked. I sort of get that. I'm confident the players that are up the top end to do something, and sort of get us over the line when it's needed. But I'm loving, and it may not be, you know, the most attractive football, although I don't think it's going to be as boring as some have said, because the hard to beat tag, which 100% you can see with 3 draws, you know, under Bielsa we never drew games. We aren't really known for drawing games over the last however many years. We win or we lose, don't we? Obviously, the last few years it's been more wins, but we don't draw many games. I think you're going to see a lot more draws from us this season. Pre-season shown that 3 draws, all against great, really good tests for us, good oppositions. The 2 teams we should have beaten, we beat them, and beat them, I say well, scored goals, looked exciting. But there is this general feeling, speaking to some other weekend, saying that it's going to be turgid football. It's going to be really rubbish. I'm sure it's going to be turgid football, but it's definitely going to have a lot more structure to it. We're definitely going to be harder to beat. And I think the score lines will be a lot closer. I don't see us conceding 3s and 4s like we have done in previous years. Like I expect, I know Burnley were good defensively. I expect to see the odd 5-6-0 blowout out of Burnley. I don't expect Leeds to be anywhere near that conversation. We'll lose games. We'll get battered in some games, but I don't see us conceding 5-6s on a regular basis because of the way we're set up and the calibre of play we've got in those areas, in those defensive areas. The question is, how many goals can we get up top? but we do know we're looking and we've got the coin to sort that out. So that's why I'm in a really good headspace now. And I think we've got enough to beat Everton. I think the team that got us promoted would beat Everton. So I definitely think this side will get you know, I know that right back's a massive problem, but I think we've got enough to beat Everton. The question comes after that, Adam.
We've got to have enough to try, you know, like if we can't go into that game thinking we've got enough to beat Everton, we've got real problems. Not only to say we will beat Everton, we've got to think we've got enough, and we've got, you know, and we've got to hope we have enough, and I think we probably have got enough, otherwise we have real problems. By the way, if you look at even Everton, Tarkowski, Keane, Brian Prude back three, Mikalenko back left, and Doy like right he'll play 10, maybe slightly left, whatever. He's more talented than anything we played in the Championship by a country mile.
Yeah, I
He
suppose.
sort of ripped the shit out of it, you know, like Barry up front. The step up as a lower end Everton side, like, is huge, like huge. Now, of course, we won that league. We were the best team in that league by a long way. If it was Burnley, if we had to keep it a save, we would have probably got another 6-7 points, and Burnley would have lost a few against us. So, if keep it save the ball. So, we were bridging that gap already. You know.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's. But Everton are a good side. But of course, a benchmark of a club that's been promoted that wants to stay up, these are the sort of games you got to win. And lots of weird stuff does happen in the first games of the season when you get promoted or relegated. You see it a lot. So don't expect, you know, put up lots of trees necessarily. But it's all so tough. Every team, me and Bosnia say it quite a lot. Every team playing against is bloody hard work. They're really good. You know, we don't have the right to even get on the same pitch as the Arsenal players. Like the Arsenal players, level wise, are so. I know this is not how football works. Do not get me wrong. Of course, you have a right, but actually, the value of the squad is rigged. You know, the value what they've built up over years and what we're coming into, it's rigged. You know, so it doesn't work, but. That's not how it works. You get on a sport, you can actually, effort goes a long way. Everything we should be, but to say it could easily be that we have no points out of the first three, and then everyone's saying about Farke out. That could easily happen.
It'd be such a big quick turnaround that if that happened, mate. Mr. Whitesnake's bang on here though. Elland Road, the fortress. I think that's why I've sort of looked at it and thought Leeds will break the mold. Leeds will break the mold. We ain't going down. There's a conversation. Sunderland have done the business potentially. Have they done well enough? We'll have to see. But again, great fan base, home crowd. Can they make that a fortress potentially? Burnley, I just don't see it. But that's massive in football. We've seen Elland Road last 2 seasons. We have made it a fortress. You know, at one point we looked like we're going to go unbeaten. You know, the year before last, and it's certainly something that we can do. Monday night under the lights at Elland Road against Everton, first game back. It's going to be right up there. This for an atmosphere, I reckon. Probably the best we'll have seen since maybe Norwich, you know, semi-final, because I haven't been in an atmosphere as good as that. Even last season, that was unreal. I think it's going to really, really have that sort of, you know, we're back in the Prem, under the lights. We're going to absolutely bring it in. I think that has to count for something when you're going to be scrapping for every point. And we have the luxury of having that old school stadium that has that cauldron of noise. The fact that we have the best supporters in the world. Nobody brings it like Elland Road brings it. Okay, when anybody says all these big stadiums, your Spurs, you know, you go, you know, living down there, you've gone to bloody all sorts. It's Arsenal. You've been to a lot of these big stadiums, haven't you? And they don't have what it's unique. It's unique, and 100%. We have to tap into that. People have said it the last few years, mate, our atmosphere hasn't been quite high. Probably because we're expecting to win every game. Well, we're not no more. Absolutely. And I know for a fact we will fucking bring it. And the players rise with crowd. It's a massive potential of points at Elland Road for us. And for me, that's where we've got to get the bulk of them. And I back us to do it, Adam.
Well, ultimately, I think we probably need 11 wins this season, 10, 11 wins.
Or 38 draws.
I know. As soon as you said about that, I did think that does keep us up. Exactly what my thought process was. But yeah, I think the cauldron is Elland Road. I think the world will be watching, by the way. I think the world will be watching. I think everyone watches Premier League, and anyone knows anything about football, talking about Leeds United back in the Premier League. Monday night, you know, it's be done on purpose, isn't it? You know, they want it. It's the final game of the first. That's all I've got. It's all I've got.
Can't you watch a replay and put like 0.5 as the speed?
No, I don't watch myself. I can't understand a word I say.
But no, it's got to be a fortress, man. We've got to tap into that, because it's like I say, no one else has got that.
No one else has that.
Secret gunner.
I'm not a secret gunner, but I do have a ticket there.
Season ticket for Arsenal.
Yes.
Gotta lose.
I do.
Explain the context behind that, so don't get.
Well, yeah, the context isn't much fun. So I inherited from my dad. So the context is he was an Arsenal fan, always an Arsenal fan. He had a debenture of a seat. So basically, every season, so I inherited the debenture. So every season, I get offered the season ticket, and I take it or I don't take it. I didn't take it for about 3 or 4 years, and I took it first time last season. And I went to one game last season, which was Man United. But this season I'm going to one game as well, which would be Leeds United, and then every other game I sell for face value to mates that are all Arsenal fans and have the opportunity to go to games. So that's yeah. So I have got an Arsenal season ticket. I don't use it, and I'm saying, do you know? I think, and I'll say this again and make this worse. I've probably been to more Arsenal games than Leeds games. Because my dad used to drag me there all the time when I was little.
To be fair, the fact that your dad's an Arsenal fan and you used to drag you to Highbury,
I've been to Highbury,
and you're a Leeds fan, is massive credit to you, like, because that must have been a toughie at times, like watching Arsenal play.
He used to drag me to Highbury all the time, but then I didn't want to be an Arsenal fan. I didn't know to sport. Everyone around was Spurs fans, and then Rob wanted to score that goal from the halfway line, and that was enough for me. I love Leeds United ever since.
I love that, mate. Absolutely love that. You need to talk more slow and clearly, like I was yesterday. Yeah, that was definitely you, Eddie. Really, really slow and clear. With a whiskey in your hand and a fucking Guinness into the wood. Class, honestly. 2 likes of 135 people watching. Thank you so much. Can we get to 100 likes, please? That would be much appreciated. I want to ask you this one, actually. We're in now. Right away. Right, well, Mike. Adam, how did your bank balance get hit over the weekend? You bought me a couple of rounds, which I don't even think I got you bad, to be honest. I was a bit like, I'm not doing rounds, Adam. He kept asking me, what do you want? No, I'll
always buy a round. If I go to the bar, I offer everyone around me a drink. It's just what I've always done. Like, it's not about reciprocal either. People don't do it because it's expected reciprocal. But if I offer a drink, it's quite polite to accept, isn't it? So if I keep going on it, you're going to accept eventually. So I paid £22 for breakfast on Saturday morning. We got a boiled egg, which a fucking boiled egg. Went to the buffet. There was sausages, hash browns, and a boiled egg. I was like, do you not do any other eggs? She went, no, that's the eggs. I was like, okay. So yeah, you peel your egg and then you eat your egg. Peeling an egg at breakfast. Anyway, and then croissants. But anyway, sorry to talk about breakfast. And then rounds of drinks for 20 quid for 2 of us, or 40 quid for 4 of us, or however more there were. We did lots of those, and then hotel hotel was like 450 quid. Stayed in Dublin both nights. I think the Ryanair flights were 300 and something. Parking was 100 quid.
Honestly, brutal, mate. It was brutal. I didn't think the actual if you stuck to Guinness, I didn't think it was too bad. I think one of the pubs I got Guinness at about €7 summer, which is probably what, 6 quid ish. I didn't think it's probably Leeds City Centre prices, if I'm honest. But when our last were getting a Malibu and Coke that she drank in about 40 seconds, and that were like €12, I was like chuffing in order. But you want to, but I think I spent about 400 quid, which I didn't think was too bad. That's because I just avoided you when it was when your drink were getting low. But yeah, someone's called me a tight fecker in chat. Honestly, I was well stressed about getting in rounds, because at one point, if we'd have been doing rounds, I'd have been buying about 18 drinks. So I was very strategic. Just buying me and our lasses drinks were just fine.
That's the way it should be. Like, I don't expect anyone to offer me a drink. I don't offer a drink to get offered a drink in return. Like,
I know you don't, mate.
And it's not about that. I know people tight or whatever. Like, I mean, Matt, he did every time he bought a drink, he did this round the other side of the bar to get his, no, in general, no. It's good fun. It was very expensive. But it is worth every penny, regardless.
It was class. I think all in, I would about £1,000 for 2 days. You know, when you had it all the way flights, and that's like a lot of money. What you think? I always get guilty me what I could spend on with kids and stuff, so I don't like spending money. But I'm not regretting it at all. And it wouldn't have actually mattered if we'd have lost. The game sort of fell secondary to the whole weekend as a whole. It would absolutely mental, mate. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely. Right, quick hold on. Just get. I've seen this earlier. Have you seen this? Just something totally off topic. Sheffield Wednesday, Liam Cooper. I hope not. I'd be gutted if he went there. Like, they are in
really.
I
think Cooper's so far beyond. I know it's because it's Cooper, you feel like that, but I think Cooper's so far beyond all that sort of stuff. Like, I know what you mean.
And this one as well. Were you there when Viduka did that?
Yeah, I was. But I was in the Leeds end.
Okay.
My dad somehow back then always used to be able to get. So I used to go to all the London Leeds away games. I used to go to all of them. So Charlton, West Ham, wherever else. And so he used to be able to get 2 tickets for that all the time. And then he had to sit with me in the Leeds away end and watch Viduka score his Arsenal ruin their. I think they were trying to win the league there, weren't they? I think they were quite. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, he did. Yes, it wasn't much fun for him.
That's class. That absolutely class. Well, I think we'll wrap it up at that. I think. Oh, quickly, what do you think of stadium? Beautiful, Patrick. Absolutely beautiful. Just aesthetically look beautiful. The uniqueness of. I mean, we go on about the South Stand at Elland Road. Obviously, you can't build any higher with the housing and the shops behind it. Obviously, it's similar with the Aviva. But it was so bizarre. I mean, I don't know how many rows he's had, maybe 10 rows or something.
Yeah, like that is weird, isn't it?
It's but unique. The glass, honestly, stunning, visually stunning, and
it was stunning.
Really,
the sound,
really nice.
The acoustics of it all were incredible as well.
I even think getting in and out of the stadium, the stewards and marshals. Honestly, we had sort of like marshals at the traffic lights, stop and making sure no one was sort of like jaywalking, no one was sort of crossing when they shouldn't be, and just getting in and out of the stadium for 50,000 fans. I honestly. Really clean, really good stadium, beautiful, and I thought it just ran really well for how many fans were in there, in and out with ease, and honestly, I couldn't say any better considering some of the stadiums I've been to are right up there for all of that. So really
100%, good. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
How much was an actual ticket? I don't know. I think mine were £40, £35, £40. But I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Got us 100 likes, which is brilliant. 132 watching this time on a Sunday night. Credit to you, because I don't know if I'd want to look at my ugly mug, but thank you very much. They
come for you and they stay for me. No,
absolutely love that. But but always going to be a bit of a let's just have a general chat, because you said to me, didn't you, on message, and I aren't quite ready for weekend to end, so let's just drag it out a little bit longer. So
but I was just hoping to lay in bed and watch you chat on. That's all. That's what I was hoping. And you went, and then we saw that, and I'll come on here.
Come on. But no, absolutely brilliant. So we'll call it there. Thanks so much. I'll be back at some point this week with some bits and bobs. We'll have late night Leeds on Friday, obviously with me, Adam, and Sean, and we'll see. Hopefully, some news this week. Leading into Everton on Monday. I'm sure there will be. But take care, everyone. Please stick a like on your way out. Please subscribe if you're new here. And if you haven't watched already, go check my vlog out that I posted early this morning of the whole weekend. It'll be a good watch, I hope. But take care. Thanks so much.